I'd absolutely love to know what possesses people to think that if I post a video about teaching, that myself or any other teacher wants to hear their opinion, having never worked in school, about how easy we have it as teachers. So I made a video the other day about the pay awards. So teachers are getting a 4% increase in pay, which isn't going to be completely fully funded. The DFE are putting some towards it, but that is going to still leave a 400 million deficit that schools have to make up through efficiencies. Now, just to be absolutely clear, when it comes to what's proposed as far as teacher pay, teachers don't have an input. The STRB makes a proposal, the DFE can either accept it or not, and if we disagree as teachers, we can go through our unions and potentially ballot. Look, pay is important to everyone. Everyone wants to be making a living so that they can enjoy their life. But I think if you were to ask teachers, pay is nowhere near as important as making sure workload is sorted. We actually have reform with Ofsted at the minute, and obviously schools are funded to provide the necessary resources to give children the best possible education. Don't let that stop you, my friend. Now, I was going to block out the name here, but it's a faceless account, believe it or not, saying that the laziest, entitled and self-important public servants get more than highly important NHS staff. Teachers should have a pay cut. They are already massively overpaid for what they do. Unbelievable. Now, again, never worked a day in the NHS in my life, so cannot comment on NHS staff, and I wouldn't want to. I just hope they are paid adequately for the incredible job that they do. It's not a competition. I would never want to compare. And obviously, whenever these comments happen in my videos, people will then bite back because it is really frustrating, really annoying. And he replies, behave, you have absolutely zero idea of what it's like to work 12+ hour days, have limited holiday and work consistently all day. Now ask any teacher, how's your bladder training? Are you able to hold your bladder 8 hours a day? Yeah, you probably are because you don't get a minute, but never mind. This is the problem with teachers. You are massively delusional. None of you would have a chance of holding down a job with real hours and holidays. It's so pathetic to hear that the public is bored of your whining and self-importance. The teaching profession had the most workers doing unpaid overtime in the past year, a TUC study has found. The average weekly overtime across all employees, so every job, every profession, 4.4 hours a week. When looking at just teachers doing unpaid overtime, the weekly figure rose to 26.3 hours. And the main reason for this? 3 guesses? Yeah, workload being a key factor in fueling the severe recruitment and retention crisis. And it can't be that hard when you get all those holidays. And if you don't like it, why don't you just leave and get another job? Well, yeah, teachers are. Yeah, for the second year running, over 40,000 teachers have left the profession. Do you know what? To go and do other jobs where they don't get as many holidays. But guess what they get? A better work-life balance. Now, that is unbelievable. You know, every time someone replied to him to explain that his thoughts aren't based on actual facts, he replied, ask a parent to honestly review what their child learns in school rather than AI or the internet in general. In a few years, teachers will be irrelevant to the education system. That might be true, but only because the system is going to get that bad that there just aren't enough people willing to work in it. This just sums it all up. Well, the internet can teach them because, you know, the internet's always truthful, always reliable. There's nothing misinformed spread online that gullible people, you know, that never happens. It wasn't long before he then brings in the strikes and talking about how we are letting children down because teachers obviously were being so selfish. And it wasn't. The strikes, you can only strike about pay, right? And obviously, in real terms, teachers have taken a massive hit on pay. But I felt the last strikes, which I was outspoken about at the time, were more about us as a profession taking a stand against the toxic system, which wasn't just failing staff, but also failing children. So stop always asking for more money then. We don't. I said at the beginning of the video, the STRB make the recommendation and then the government decides whether to accept it or not. The point I was making in this video is that because some of that pay rise is going to be unfunded, that is going to put a lot more pressure on schools, a lot more pressure on teachers to do more with less. And ultimately, who loses out will be the students. But, we just use the students of ammunition for what we want. Everyone knows that students are of secondary importance to your own selfish wants. Show me you've never met or spoken to a teacher who goes above and beyond for their students in a failing education system. But, don't let my facts stop you from sharing your informed opinion about teachers. Honestly, I don't even know why I've made this video and given them the airtime, but I'm hoping it might clear a few things up.